Welcome to the Polishing Profits Podcast, where we discuss all things related to the business of detailing. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, this podcast is for you. In each episode, we'll cover topics ranging from business management to marketing solutions. Here to help you grow your detailing business, your hosts, Nick and Dustin.
Oh, God.
Hey, yeah, you're that way to me.
You're this way.
We should touch.
Oh,
fingers,
God.
yeah.
Yeah. Look at that. Guys.
Oh, man. You could
What's up, Dustin? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, my friend. We had to jump on a little early here. For those of our normal 11:30 viewers, all four of y'all. We're early, boys.
But we're here. We're here and we're rocking
here.
and we're going to bring it today. I know Dustin's ready. He's had his Celsius.
I have had one Celsius and I'm going to work on this second one throughout the show. So get ready, boys. It's going to be a ride.
But I'm pretty excited about this. We're starting a new series, right, Dustin?
Yeah. We are starting a new series. It's a fun one for me. And I think that you guys are going to get a lot of value out of this one. We're going to break down the $1 Million Detail Shop presentation. And
what is that presentation, Dustin?
What you would never ask. That's a presentation that myself and the marketing team put together a few years ago. We were asked to come teach some classes on business and things like that. So it's our entry level, hour-long, sometimes 2-hour-long, depending on what it's for. Presentation where we explain kind of where we came from as a detail shop, and then where we are currently. And so kind of the things, and we broke it down into segments of the things that we think, or that we know, I guess, got us to that point.
Or that
to $1 million detail shop.
Thinks he knows. You know what I mean? So we'll jump in there and we're going to have a good time with, I think you have those, 5 pillars?
Yeah, there's 5 pillars. I'm sorry, somebody came in the room. There's 5 pillars of success. 5 pillars of we think that are the things that affect that. One of them being, whoa, I'm glad that was not open. So you got customer relations, you have employee relations, you have sales, you have marketing, and then you have software that puts everything into an effective process. Yeah. And those are the things that we think if you focus on those, you can build a business and scale this business. And really, any kind of business, that's kind of the things that they hinge around,
Yeah, no. So I had the honor of listening to it a couple times now.
Oh, nice. I'm sorry.
So down at MTE, I was like, you know what? What about the people that didn't get to go to MTE? Didn't make it to that class? You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of value in sort of going through some of those things. Obviously, you've had some time to rehearse what you say on each slide there. So
yeah, and I always preface the meeting or the class with who's heard it before, and I try to gauge how much it needs to change.
Yeah.
When we went to Mobile Tech last year, we had 70 or 80 people in the room, and I was expecting the majority of them have heard it, and they hadn't, which was really cool. Because it's nice to be able to kind of talk to a class that never heard it before. It feels good.
No one's been able to hear it with someone hitting it from another angle. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And breaking it down at 40 or 30 minutes each segment, you got to think it's normally ran in 45 minutes or an hour, at best an hour and a half, maybe.
So Dustin just powers through it as fast as he can, doesn't answer questions. I don't even breathe.
I don't breathe for 45 minutes. And that's it.
Today we're not going to hit a column, right? We're going to sort of talk a little bit about hey, it's intro. Humble Beginnings is the title of hey, where I started, where you started, where we are kind of now. And then we're going to hit a pillar each week going on for the next 5 weeks there.
5 weeks. Yep. And that's exciting because we get to dig deep. We're going to bring on some guests during each one possibly. And then, run it through the gauntlet. Let's poke holes in it. Let's see if we can improve on the presentation. Let's see if we can uncover things that maybe we don't get to talk, that we haven't talked about in some of the classes. So exciting to do it. So, let's talk about humble beginnings, talk about.
Whoa. There's no story time?
Story time with Nick. Yes, my bad. Get it, Chris.
No, you know what? I was ready with a story. I did my homework. I was here early, Dustin. Had my coffee.
It's coming. When Chris finds it, it's coming.
No intro music this week.
Too late. Too late.
I knew. One thing I wanted to talk about is the sales side that you have brought to my attention, that is a weakness in our business. We did have an employee that was cashier sales move on, right? And I wanted to talk about a little bit about when someone moves on, right? And you bring in someone else, it's creating that opportunity of improvement because they don't remember how it was.
Yeah. So you get rid of the bad habits sometimes, you know?
Yeah. And I think we really fell into that of not making it a priority with the training. So before we even bring someone in, taking that time to put that sales strategy at the front is something that we're putting a lot of time into. So just letting people know, like, listen, when you lose someone, it could be a detailer, it could be a prepper, it could be someone that's on the sales side.
Yep.
Ask yourself what was their weaknesses, right? And ask yourself what were your weaknesses with that position. So when you go and bring someone in, you're going to be able to adjust to that. And again, go ahead.
Yeah, that's spot on. That's spot on. And that allows you to go iron out the wrinkles that you had in that job process. We're going through the same thing. So Gabby, our lead sales, is pregnant. And so we knew that she was going to be leaving, I mean, inevitably for some time.
At least you get a runway. At least you know.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. So we brought in one person, and Katie, she was inexperienced. She was good sales, but inexperienced within the detail realm. It was looking like it was going to be a much harder thing for her to catch on fast enough. So we vetoed that. We moved her into another position with us.
Can I jump in real quick? Was Gabby helping train Katie?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Gabby's side by side. So this is a benefit that we have that you don't, like what you're suggesting is not the case.
No, because again, when you're there and you've got your sales, and Gabby, I'm sure, does a phenomenal job, right?
Yeah, she does.
And it's trying to figure out, okay, when we bring someone in, it's really hard to replicate a person versus seeing that person's strengths and Katie's strengths and weaknesses and making it so, hey, how can we make this position, fit that person as well?
Yeah, and when we brought the next person in, Rob, he actually owned his own shop, and he had to shut it down due to some health reasons, but he loved detailing and loved selling details. So now he gets the best on. The cool thing about him is he's actually taught Gabby a lot of stuff, and he's come in and he's like, hey guys, have y'all thought about this? Have you thought about that? So it's really been a fun experience. It's usually not the case. Like what you're saying is usually what we deal with too. Somebody kind of leaves unexpectedly. You're left with a hole to fill. It's an opportunity to change and to what did I not like about it? What can we do better? And sometimes maybe do we need the job? Do we need that position at all? Like, is it something that we can multi-purpose, multitask? You never know,
the last couple of days I've been there, I've just been excited because it was when you get someone that does such a good job in certain areas, right? You almost feel like, man, it's hard to train, old dogs, new tricks, right?
They've been with you and they've heard the ideas and they've tried things and they get bogged down. I mean, it's like, we've heard this song and dance with Dustin. Like, you come in fired up and you kind of just get like in that rut, it's like, it's not worth it. Just let them do their job.
And I always call it that 2-week window when you bring someone new in, because they don't know what it was like before. But what they see in those first 2 weeks, that's going to be their standard that they keep for the next year.
Man, I love that. You're
writing it down. Oh, I thought I was going to make a notepad. No,
I was seeing if I had ever said. I was actually seeing if I'd actually said that before.
Oh, you said that. You already told me.
That was something I'd come up with actually. So we windows. I like that.
But that's what I got for story time, guys. Sorry to cut you off there, Dustin, but now we can talk about the $1 million detail.
No, man, I think that's really cool, and I think that's relevant. I think a lot of detailers and business owners, really get discouraged when they lose someone, and I'm glad that you brought up that. Take the positives out of it. Like I always look at it as an opportunity as well. And it is refreshing to come in and see a new face with new energy, as long as you grab the right one. If you don't, go ahead and make that decision early. You set that tone like, hey, look, when I hire somebody, we already run like this 1 week, 2 week trial period. We don't even put them on payroll. We work that payment out and we will pay you training pay or whatever. But we were just seeing if you like us and we like you.
Yeah, we're dating situation.
We're dating. We're very much dating. We do not propose on the first in the interview.
But what's funny, Dustin, is I have other cashiers, right? But it's just like bringing someone new in, I kind of want to work one-on-one to see where those inefficiencies are in the position as a whole, because that's the difference. It's just I I don't know. That was just me.
That's great. And if you have time to do that, man, that's phenomenal. Like if as a detailer, if they have the time to allocate towards that person, I mean, you want to talk about training somebody the right way and then understanding, like you said, inefficiencies in your operation. Because like when you get anytime I go to somebody's office and I ask, and I'm always asking, why do you do it this way? Or why do you do it that way? Like, and to hear it, you're like, holy crap. Like, try it this way, or have you thought about this? Or you may learn something like, oh, you can do that. Like, okay, cool. That's what I get with Chris all the time. I'm like, Chris, show me that. Like, wait, we can do that.
Chris has got that locked down. This podcast does not happen without Chris.
Dude, this is not even a thing if Chris isn't sitting in this room.
Shout out to Chris.
All right, cool. $1 Million Detail Shops always talks about it always starts with an intro. I intro who I am. And I show you where I came from, because it's kind of like, I don't want to call it like braggish to say that. Like it comes across like a little brash, right? And or I feel that. Southern Hospitality tells me not to say
I felt it too. I felt it too in the presentation. It was a little bit like, take it easy there, Dustin.
Oh no. I'll tell you where I came from, and I came from where most of us come from. Owner operator under a carport, right beside a shed, like right beside an office that was 10 by 10, literally, and just like from the ground up, man. And so like what I want to set the tone for is that no matter where you're at in your business right now, because I was right there beside you. I'm right. And we're doing the same thing you're doing right now. We're just doing more of it to get the numbers. To be $1 million detail shop, you got to start with one detail, right? So and that's exactly how we started. And so I wanted people to understand before we got to talking about these big numbers and these big things is where we started. And it was very humble beginnings, and it was under a carport, and it was myself. And then I hired someone to help me, and I trained that person side by side. And I was in the shop for the first, probably 4 years.
We're still, Dustin, me and you are still in the shop.
We're still in the shop.
We're still in the shop.
You remember those boot stripes that got caught in the wind last week? I don't remember the pinstripes we were talking about. They're called boot stripes. Anyways, we were laying those this morning. So yes, we're still in the shop. I just want people to understand that, like, wherever you're at, it's, the over the next 5 weeks, you're going to hear a lot about the things that we do to be big, but you start now. You start with where you at with what you have, and you build on that.
But you know what's crazy? The one thing that was really cool in the beginning of your presentation, right? You said, hey, you're $1 million detail shop revenue wise, but you probably had 1.1 in expenses. So we're going to put it as the title. You know what I mean? $1 Million Detail. We're going to get a bunch of people watching, asking questions, and going that route. But it's still sort of understanding. I would rather be a $500,000 detail shop with only $100,000 expenses.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So keeping that in, if you really want to go top line revenue, you know what I mean, and really just blow it up and scale it, great.
Well, yeah. But here's the reality: is catchy. Like it's a title to a thing that's supposed to trigger an emotion, and we wear that.
What is that emotion? What do you think that triggers when people see $1 million detail shop?
Because most people don't think it's obtainable. Most people don't think that you can wash cars and make $1 million in a year.
Well, do you think I would say again, it becomes I think it's an envy. They're like, wait, I'm not doing $1 million. You know what I mean? Everybody's very competitive. It's a competitive market. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think it's something where they're like, well, I want to do that. Well, I want to get there. What is he doing different?
What's funny is we called ourselves $1 million detail shop before we hit $1 million.
Yeah.
We spoke it into existence. I had it printed on everybody's shirt. I did. I have it printed, gold. I hope Madison and Brooke are watching this, because I fought them. Them for months on the color.
Yeah.
And I
for EZN, like the colors for EZN?
Oh, no. Everything's been branded EZN the whole time. Yeah. On the sleeve, I wish I'd have worn one of those. Let's see. On the sleeve right here, it was in gold. $1 million detail shop.
Yeah.
We weren't $1 million detail shop yet. But I wanted our detailers to wear that patch with pride and understand what we were trying to get to. It had nothing to do with the dollars that were coming in. It had everything to do with the sense of pride that came with it. When you put something in it, when we spoke it into existence and we hit it.
Yeah.
And we said, and I wanted it gaudy. I wanted it gold. I wanted it I wanted my customers to come by and see, oh, wow, $1 million detail shop. That's cool.
Get all the polishers blinged out in gold. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We did all that too.
Yeah.
No, we didn't do that.
You know what's funny? And I kind of just lumped that under perceived, value,
Value.
right? It's perceived, right? It's what are people seeing? It's perceived expectation. You know, they see that it's going to trigger that reaction from the customer. It's going to trigger it from the employees, everybody, you know, from top to bottom. And then you too, you know what I mean? You're going to be like, yeah, I want that. I want to be there.
Well, whenever you say, so like if I'm ever in a group of people and say, what do you own, you know, what do you do? So I own a detail shop. And you immediately kind of like it's not like I own Walmart, you know, I own this enterprise.
You're not in software. You don't have the next Google. You don't have, you know, whatever's cool. Right.
We don't own Facebook. It's a detail shop. And so like, if you tagline it $1 million detail shop, they're like, oh, it has relevance. It adds, you know, it legitimizes the operation. And I'm not saying that you got to do $1 million to feel that way. What I'm saying is there's, you know, the way we got there was first by speaking it into an existence, but we started also by just washing cars, like just like everybody else does. And that's not including, we don't do tint, we don't do PPF, anything like that. That is literally organically detailing. I mean, ceramic coatings obviously helped us a ton. And clean helped us get there.
You know what? And the biggest thing, talk about humble beginnings, is people trying to skip those steps. You know what I mean? I think that's the number one thing that I sort of see is like a lot of detailers just trying to jump to that $1 million instead of going from 50,000 to 100,000. And it's year over year growth.
And let me tell you, so in that growth, those growing pains are 1,000,000% real. So a couple things happen during growth. You reach times where your quality is going to come into question at times. You're going to reach time where profitability comes into question at times. You're going to reach times where employment comes into question sometimes, and customers come into question sometimes. So all these things that we're going to talk about over these next 5 weeks, which are those things right there, pricing, every point along there, at some point along the way, each one of those is going to make you want to pull your hair out. And it's going past that, and it's learning, and it's building a process in each one of those that says, this is how we handle it every time, regardless of who's here in the building. That's customer, that's owner, that's employee, that's whatever. Because in those times, it's going to really make you consider like why you're doing what you're doing.
And the crazy part is like, even with Splash, right? Our bread and butter, heart and soul of the company, right? We've got that 120-foot lane. We're washing cars. It's plain, it's simple. It's a hand wash. It's a lot of people. But watching that grow, and like you said, those growing pains to get, and from building the shop, right? From building, right? Think about all those things that you have learned, I have learned, as we put all of these things together, from electrical to plumbing. You know what I mean? All those different hats that you have to wear. Well, those hats don't fit day one. You know, they don't. You don't know how to do some of the things you don't know. You don't know how to go switch out. You know,
and there's a big gap to get from where you are under a carport to housing 12 or 14 detailers, or to you know, being able to put that many vehicles through the building. So like, you know, the car, like, but it's a process in which you grow, and like, you know, one of the things that we had happen along the way was a shop fire, and we, you know, our wood building burned to the ground, and we had to bring back our original carport. And while we built this building that we're in now, that we built out of pocket, by the way, like we didn't have insurance on the building. We had some insurance on the tools and equipment, which helped us replace some stuff, but it did not cover the building costs. And I had to do that out of pocket. And so, humble beginnings again, we had a shell that we worked under, and then we've constantly added to this building, and added doors and added walls and things like that. So, you know, just like our building scaled, so did our facility, and so did our team. You know, it all just kind of pieced together along the way.
And you know what's that's a great point. Like, almost you're going to be at a humble beginning at different stages. You're going to be at humble beginnings when you hit $1 million, because you had to go through so much extra expense, so much to get there. You're going to be like, man, I'm at ramen. I'm doing $1 million. I'm eating ramen. You know what I mean? Like, that's part of it. And it's sort of, again, what you see on Instagram isn't going to be what that real, you know,
doing it for the gram,
doing it for the gram, you know, the marketing, that the iPhones are taking really nice pictures of really nice cars, and it just doesn't show that day to day. So I'm really excited about this series. I think people are going to get a lot out of it.
I do too. And I'm super excited to dig deep in each channel or each section of it. You know, one thing that the question that I think about a lot is, you know, what does it take to get to 2? And then do we want to do that?
Yeah.
And you know, it's like, okay, do we go and double down on efficiency and profit in that, or do we continue the grind to get to, the sales? Because it's a mountain to climb. It is a mountain to climb.
Yeah.
And, so that's stuff that we're working on right now. I mean, as a company, we did over 2 million last year, but that was not just detailing. So we can't include that,
Well, you can, because what ends up happening to any business as you grow, you're going to expand, what the business owner is going to expand where they have their hands in, whether that's real estate, whether that's a software company like yourself, whether that's, it just happens organically. There's nothing you can do about it. As time goes by and you've got that hunger, you know what I mean? You just end up, what the heck am I doing? I've got a dog grooming salon over here. You know what I mean? Like, what is going on? You know what I mean? Then all of a sudden you've got these other flowers growing, other trees growing there. It's crazy.
Man, you are preaching to the choir. And that's exactly how it happens. You think about too, like, this is something that
what do you call that? You call that serial entrepreneurship.
Serial entrepreneurship. And I got bit by that bug when I was very, very young. I've never had, it's never been an option for me. I mean, I'll just be flat out. Business ownership is not an option for me. It's what I have been. It's not cliche. It's like literally what was imposed on my life. And I've lived this life from day one. It's all I think about. It's all I've ever done. I've never received a paycheck from another company other than one I own. All the way down to my first business license when I was 14. So
I did work at Sunset little grocery store as a bagger at 14. So you know what? I don't get that title as cool as Dustin's title is. I have had a check from another place.
That's okay. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that. But it's like, that's just what it is. Oh man, I lost my train of thought where I was going.
Derailed.
Oh, I was going to tell you this thing I've been focusing on, and it's wherever focus goes, energy flows. And so you have to be careful when you start to divide your attention amongst other businesses. And I'm guilty. Yeah. I'm super guilty.
Same.
If I'm focusing on software, it's inevitable. If I don't have the right pieces in place and the right KPIs to understand how that business is operating, that business will start to decline no matter what.
You said pieces. I'm going to say people.
People. Right. That's right. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. The right people in place, and within those people in your team, KPIs are a must. You have to know what a successful day looks like for that person. And if you don't, then you always kind of feel like, well, because you're not paying attention to what they're doing. And if you're like me, when you look away, you feel like nobody's doing anything behind you. So
right now, while we're here and everything's going on, you know what I mean? How do you feel?
They're not doing anything. Those assholes.
They're all watching the podcast.
They're all watching it. Yeah, right. They're not that bored.
If you had to say one person you think could be watching it downstairs, you want to give them a shout out? Who would?
My dad. My dad. 100% my dad.
Yeah. What's he supposed to be doing?
Yeah, see it, Dad. Drop in here and drop us a comment if you're watching. He's a loyal follower. My mom gave up on us years ago. She used to be in here. In the office, I don't think there's anybody. They don't even really know what I do up here, most of them. And I really talk about the office stuff. The detailers know, but let me tell you why the detailers know. It's because it makes their lunch 30 minutes later on Friday, because we have. Even though we're in a silent room up here, the compressors and stuff are right below us. And if they're running the compressors, it vibrates the floor and you can hear it. And so they're like, assholes doing another podcast.
They're like, where's Nick? Why do you just drive off at 10:30 in the morning? Where's he going? And then I show back up at 12:15 at like clockwork.
We used to put it on the TV in the shop. We used to pipe it in out there. We have a big TV on the wall
cool.
that has their daily calendar. Yeah, they didn't like it.
But at the same time, it's funny. It's like the customers don't really care. They're not going to watch the podcast. It's not for the customers. There's no real value there.
No, and just so you know, our shop is not. Our office is separate from our shop. So customers don't even. Very, very, very few customers come in our shop. They're all straight in there, and then we have a pickup zone out there and stuff. So, so it was really just for our detailers that are on lunch that are hanging around there. So, but yeah, man, listen. So to loop it back in, I know we got to jump pretty quick here. The thing about what we're going into is going to be a deep dive. We're all going to bring on some guests. But we wanted you to understand like the concept of $1 Million Detail Shop. And it's not to sit here and talk about this to get to $1 million, right? It's about to go from a place where you're at to a place you want to go to. If that's $1 million, it's $1 million. If it's 10 employees, it's 10 employees. Like whatever that is, that is. But the things that we're going to talk about each week are going to be the things that you're going to have to focus on to get yourself there.
And each of those pillars, it's kind of trying to pick and choose what are those things that you can actually apply to your business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What is a feasible goal that you can say, hey, look, next 2 months, I got to get this done. You watch it, you write it down, you get it done, you message us and say, yeah, that worked. Thank you.
And it's taking those things and making that like a company core value to care about each one of those things.
But how easy is it, Dustin, every year, every cycle, when you have that extra time, every slow period? Well, guess what? You go and just go to $1 million detail and just pick one of those columns and be like, listen, you're not doing everything perfect. No one is. And you can just say, you know what? I got to do better here.
We had $1.3 million in open estimates last year. That's unclosed estimates. If you want to talk about something that we were focused on going into January of 24, that would be it. We also had around $150,000 worth of cancellations.
Yeah. And how you can get more efficient.
If we can't get to $2 million, we just got to close more estimates and keep them from canceling.
But how long you guys been in business over there?
Over 10 years.
10 years. So
yeah.
Think about how many years. Now compound that year over year over year over year, open estimates that could have been done better. But it wasn't until year 10, you're like, what the heck are we doing?
You know what I mean? Because you take it for granted. Yeah, you're looking at it. We even track that number every week, but we never talk about it.
Yeah.
And I added it up. I just I'm like, let me look at this column and added it up. I'm like, holy shit.
It takes a crazy son of a gun like Dustin to be like, in year 10, to jump back and be humble enough to be like, look, what am I doing wrong? There's no top to the pyramid there. There never is.
Oh, you know what's funny is my conversation with my team is always not where we're at, but where we're going. And so it's like we're never there. But now so there's a few times a year where we turn around and celebrate. And I say that because like when I feel like when you celebrate, you're turning around. You're going away from your goal.
About bowling, Dustin. It's an excuse to go bowling.
It's an excuse to go bowling. Okay. We love pizza and beer. So anyways, guys. Exciting show coming up. We got some comments we want to drop up here. I saw Billy Smith, but I didn't get to read it. So let's make sure we see his again.
What's up, Billy?
Anytime your business is scaling and growth, it's very humbling to hit each new tier. Absolutely. And you know what? Listen, every time you get to these tiers and you feel them because like you're either overstaffed or you're understaffed, you're over customer, you're undercut, like all these things, and you feel them all the way around.
It gets a little easier to just sort of stomach be like, okay, we're going to be short because we're too busy now. Oh, okay. Guess what? We're slow now. We got too many guys. You know what I mean? Like you just sort of, okay, let's just ride the wave.
Ride the wave. Yeah. And not to be so overreactive, try to be proactive, not, as reactive as possible. And part of that's data tracking.
That's
KPIs.
not your best. Yeah, you usually have better line. You got to.
I'm struggling, man. I did what did I do? I said one earlier and you didn't call it out, and it
wasn't good enough then. If I didn't call it out, it wasn't good enough.
Oh, where attention goes, energy flows. That's a good one.
That's pretty good. I've
been waiting all week for that. What other comments you got?
Dr. Seuss on this side.
Oh, what's up, buddy? What's up? Hey, did you get that package fixed? Shoot me a text. Let me know if you got your package fixed. Speaking of, let's talk about some software. I don't think we have time though.
We got a minute. Let's give a shout out to Detail Bookie last minute.
Shout out to Detail Bookie software company. Guys, if you don't have a software and you're listening to this right now, check us out. Jump on a demo with me. We're going to go over things in your business, how it could or maybe not help you. Yeah. But we're going to dig in deep. We're going to let you know like real quick where it could help you at and things that may streamline processes that may help you with. It may help you be $1 million detail.
Hey, Dustin, last minute of the show. What are your thoughts on Detail Bookie sponsoring our show and having a special promo code for people that watch the show?
I'm with it.
Sign up.
Yeah, I'm with it. We can make that happen. And I'd love
put them on blast. Take care of our listeners. They're watching, they're learning.
And listen,
Detail Bookie.
Yeah. They should. Yeah. I can't think of a reason why they wouldn't have Detail Bookie. All right, man. Listen, we prefaced the next show. What is the next show? Is it on sales?
What's that first pillar?
I don't know.
I
don't know. I always
it's your ebook there.
Yeah, sales, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know. Madison, help me out. You're not watching this.
Madison.
I'm pretty sure it's on sales. I think it goes.
For Madison.
No. It's not sales. It's employee relations.
We're going employee side
or customer relations. Shit, I don't know. You don't know, Chris? Read the thing. No. Oh, it's on another computer. All right, we'll let you guys know in a post next.
We're gonna leave it on a cliffhanger. They're gonna be like, "What the heck are these guys talking about?"
I'm pretty sure it's customer relations.
Okay.
And it's built. Yeah. It's customer relations because you can't build $1 million detail shop without customers. That's what it is. So we're going to talk about how to build a healthy customer business relationship, how to deal with objections, how to deal with the infamous shit sandwich. And just what to deal when you have customers that are disgruntled or things going on, how to handle those things, and then how to use those customers to continue to build successful business.
Cool. Love it.
Fair enough.
See you next week. Let's rock and roll.
We will see you guys next week. Enjoy the show, Nick, as always, brother. Looking forward to the next one.
You got it. See you too. Thanks, Dustin.
See ya.